Welcome to San Salvador. Tonight, the United States continues its long road to World Cup 2010 here in El Salvador. The gates opened 5 hours ago, and fans have been streaming into the stadium ever since. The U.S. team will be looking to silence a hostile crowd of nearly 50,000 as they look for their second straight win in this final round of qualifying.
The games you want to be a part of, you want to be a part of big games and help your team be successful. And so I don't think it's nervousness. I think it's excitement and anxiousness that you want to be a part of it and you want to do well.
Well, you wonder what Brad Guzan now is thinking about this kind of an atmosphere. It's one thing to hear about it. It's another thing to see it, feel it, be a part of it as the United States gets ready to take on El Salvador. We will check out the starting lineups right now for the USA.
And all that part of it with Brad Guzan, how mentally strong can he be? And then also with this U.S. team, same lineup against Mexico, except for the two changes, Guzan and Caleb. But really take a look at Kleshton and Bradley. They've got to control the things in midfield. Bob Bradley happy with Michael getting the 2 goals against Mexico. Maybe he can be a goal scorer tonight, linking up with Donovan and Chang. So we go into El Salvador. Some of the things that we talked about earlier with Zelaya up top and Quintanilla. But one of the other things is Pacheco on that left side and Castillo. That's a very strong left-sided side for the El Salvadorian team. Sorry, they're strong, but the U.S. have got to shut that 2 down.
Everybody is in blue here tonight. No surprise there. The crowd was very hostile in the last game against Trinidad and Tobago. The El Salvador Federation was fined $25,000 because of the crowd's behavior. Bob Bradley taking a look at this. He's seen this before, but he's getting a look at it firsthand as the head coach now of this USA squad. Game 2 for Bob in this final round of qualifying.
And the crowd is quiet right now compared to they've been here for 5 hours prior to this match. It's an intense scene, and when this kickoff starts, JP, it's going to be a hostile environment.
One of the goals for the United States tonight will be to take this crowd out of the game. Easier said than done. USA with a whopping edge in terms of goals scored and victories against El Salvador. That's in the last 6+ games. It's been a while since El Salvador has even scored a goal against the United States. This is unlike a World Cup game where there are fans of both nations at the game. This is all partisan El Salvador.
But it's great though, isn't it, when you talk about the CONCACAF region, and even though the U.S. basically are the giants of CONCACAF, this is what it's all about. Going away from home, the distractions, the mental toughness. You need to be there on the field. You need to make it happen. They have to start strong. First 15 minutes, very important for the USA. They come out tonight, set the stall against this El Salvadorian team.
USA in white, El Salvador in blue, just like their fans. We're underway with a Landon Donovan play as he kicked it back to Bradley. Right side, Dempsey. Hedjuk's pass to Ching. Now Dempsey cuts into the middle. Looking for the shot, takes it. The stop is made by Montes.
What a great start for the U.S. 6 consecutive passes in a row and a shot on goal. Not bad.
Miguel Montes will send this one well over the halfway line. El Salvador on the far side of the field will push it back. Gonzalez is in the center of their defense along with Enriquez. This is Pacheco on the left. Close to signing with the New York Red Bulls, rumored for a while, but it's even closer now because this ball was played long and out of play, but that's the danger of Pacheco with the left foot.
He's a very good player, very strong. He likes to come forward at times, picks his spot, technically sound, and you saw him switching the point of attack. That's important for El Salvador, distributing out of the back.
Long ball by Caleb. He wanted Brian Ching. Pacheco looking for Romero. Number 8. That's cut off. Hedjuk will send it the other way. Beasley, quick touch. Ching and Donovan. Another long shot. That one's wide, but the USA have put 2 in the vicinity of the El Salvador goal area. If and when Bob Bradley decides to go to his bench, these are the available players. Demerit Inspector recently back from injury, and Marcus Hahnemann, a bit of a surprise. He hasn't played for the U.S. team since 2007.
Right, and you go and miss as well if you don't miss. Pablo Mastroeni getting back in there. He played in that summer tour in the friendlies, and he's healthy again with the Colorado Rapids. Gets a call back in.
4 players not in uniform tonight of the 22. Tim Howard, of course, suspended. Aguchi Onyewu injured. We were told he could probably have played if they wanted to, but didn't want to risk him with a game coming up on Wednesday. Freddie Adu and Eddie Johnson also scratched from the 22 to get it down to 18. Sasha Kleshton. Bocanegra will be in the middle today with Danny Califf, with Onyewu out. Into the box again. The USA has had all kinds of possession in the early going in the offensive third.
I'm a bit surprised from El Salvador's standpoint that they've dropped off so much, JP. Even their attacking players are back behind the ball, only 40, 50 yards out from goal, allowing the U.S. to have possession and knock it around. And really, the U.S. have dictated the game so far. It's early, of course, but they've done a good job of getting the ball forward.
Montes. Long for Zelaya. Cut off there. Dempsey. Pacheco stops that. U.S. wanted a handball. No call there. Gonzalez. Long for Zelaya. A bump there from Caleb. And the foul is going to be called, or is it not? No. Mexican referee Benito Archundia told the player down, Zelaya, to get up. Now he is back on his feet. El Salvador with the ball. And they give it away. The pass intended for Julio Martinez.
And this is Caleb right here. Just a little bit of a bump. Nothing serious. And the referee did a good job allowing play to continue on. There's going to be many of those tonight throughout this match.
Caleb. Another long ball for the U.S. intended for Ching. Headed forward like a steal. Zelaya. Good run down that left side, but the USA has some cover. It's Hedjuk against Castillo. Want to move to the outside. Back inside, the cross. Headed away. Danny Caleb making the play. It's coming right back at Guzan. Wide. But that'll get the crowd going.
Very good run down the wing. And as you said, Castillo taking players on, and it ignites the crowd get behind them. That's all it's all about, the energy. You can feel it in the stadium. Something that the U.S. needs to keep an eye on is that left-hand side, like I said before, with Castillo and Pacheco. Both of them they exchange very well, but they overlap and they get forward.
This is Castillo's home stadium. His club team Alianza calls this facility home in El Salvador's first division. DeMarcus Beasley put it back. Bocanegra to Danny Califf. He's playing these days in Denmark. Beasley. Pushed back to Bocanegra. El Salvador giving the USA some time here. And space. In the middle, that's going to be headed away and upfield. The U.S. trying to get back and cover Zelaya. This time the foul is going to be called on Caleb. Romero was the player rocked. He's the player that scored those 2 free kick goals that we showed you in the open in the last match.
Well, here's a good work rate right there. There's the foul from Danny Caleb.
Played wide and then into the box, but Guzan has no trouble with that.
And that's important that Guzan does get a touch on the ball, get feel, get that confidence, get the first one out. Nice and easy. And again, as you said, El Salvador dropping off JP, which I think is a little bit strange. If anything, when the U.S., if you remember, went away to Guatemala, Guatemala surprised the U.S. by stepping up the pressure high and getting after, made it difficult. You know, against a good team, you can't give them time and space to get a rhythm, and the U.S. seem comfortable right now playing in the stadium.
Do you expect this game to be as physical and intimidating as that Guatemala game?
I think it's going to be as physical. I mean, unless, like you said, the U.S. are able to take the sting out of the crowd, then I don't think it's going to be. There you see De Los Cobos, the coach, and I don't know. I disagree with him. I think you should step up and high press a team like the USA.
The U.S. trying to play it through. That was Dempsey. Too many blue jerseys there. They break it up. Ball played into the middle. Well read. Stripped away. That was Sasha Kleshton making that play. Donovan with no flag up. Into the box. The cross. Tapped wide. May have been a miss hit there too. On the far side as Kleshton tried to make that pass across. And knocked away, but the USA has had the better play in the early going. They continue here.
That was a good little toe poke by Frankie Hedjuk, sticking in behind. Landon Donovan with pace, just taking advantage of that speed. An open play. The final ball wasn't connected well to Kleshton. It was difficult for him on his left foot. Just got a piece of it.
Bocanegra's pass to Beasley. Michael Bradley having a sensational year in Germany. It's pushed over to the left. Heath Pierce into the middle. Played forward. Dempsey. Play is disrupted there. U.S. fights to get it back, and they do. Dempsey was in there with Beasley. Knocked away by Pacheco, and it goes out. It'll be the USA's ball on a throw-in. Pierce will take it on the far side of the field. Long U.S. throw-in, headed away. Back to the halfway line for the U.S. Intended for Beasley. They'll have a second crack at it. Dempsey plays for Fulham. Bradley with a knockback. Ball almost played through. Dempsey kept it moving. Touch just off. Donovan and Ching trying to collaborate. They were working on the short passing game between the two of them at the end of training yesterday. Down that left flank. There is Ruud. There is Castillo. Cutting to the inside is a fan favorite here. And a foul called on Beasley.
Great run from Castillo down the left-hand side. You see Frankie Hedjuk, if he gets stuck out of position and then the communication's not there, as loud as it is in this stadium, you have to have that understanding. Some players do with each other.
Free kick from distance from Pacheco. He'll strike it low. It was blocked. The U.S. got a piece of that. And Dempsey kept it in play. El Salvador back in their own end. Enriquez. Gonzalez. The U.S. lost it there. Sanchez. Pacheco. Over the top. Hedjuk's there. Knocking it out for a throw-in for El Salvador. Frankie Hedjuk picked up his first cap playing against El Salvador back in 1996. The battle there, out for another throw-in, deep again for El Salvador. Castillo will take it. And he'll get it back. Slotted that through. Arrow shot blocked. Caleb got a piece of that. Pacheco bends it inside. Anybody's ball. USA heads it away. Sanchez to the right. Martinez right across. Corner kick, first one for El Salvador.
Well, this is where Brad Guzan has got to organize his defense and be sure of himself if he's going to come out for this ball. And line him up quickly and get him organized.
Quintanilla with that in-swinger back post and it got away. Goal kick, United States. USA minus the suspended Tim Howard today. These are other players that are carrying yellow cards, and the next yellow would lead to sitting out the next game, which is Wednesday versus Trinidad and Tobago, and that is in Nashville. Manye, who also has a yellow card, but he is not in tonight's group of 18. Talked about how loud it is out there. Deafening. How do players communicate them?
That's a good question, JP. I was just alluding to that beforehand, that some of the players just have this understanding with each other, like DeMarcus Beasley does with Landon Donovan, like Brian Ching does with Landon, and I had that type of understanding with Tab Ramos when we played. We just knew, to feed off of each other, and the understanding was there. Because you can't hear a word. You can't hear anything on the pitch. It's so loud.
Donovan with a knockback. Dempsey. Ching was making the one inside. Quintanilla played it back. Martinez, number 6. Sanchez. It is deafening here in El Salvador. Boca Negra back to Guzan. If you're a goalkeeper calling for the ball from your defender, you could be in some trouble tonight. You're not going to hear each other.
Well, that's the thing, too. Visually, you have to keep an eye on each other, looking around, always being aware of what's on the field, but also the space and the players marking up. Making sure that the shape is very good in front in terms of the back four, the 2 holding midfielders. I think right now Michael Bradley and Sasha Kleshtin have done a good job playing side by side in the midfield. If we take a look at Guzan there. Getting early touches on the ball, it's going to help him settle down. It's very good.
What do you see from the U.S. team in terms of their body language coming into this environment?
Very positive, actually. I think the exchange of passes going to goal in the final third has been very good.
This one deflects free. Frankie Hedjuk sent that one to the halfway line. It's coming back his way. The U.S. gets it to Dempsey. He's being chased by 4 players. Finally knocked out, and it'll be a throw for the United States.
Right now, Brian Ching's early work rate has been fantastic. Just movement off the ball, creating space, getting himself available for Brad Guzan on the long ball situation. Just being a good target, man.
Dempsey's pass, he'll get the return, try to slot it through. Too much traffic in there. High ball played forward. Bradley got it to Beasley. DeMarcus dispossessed. Look out here, there's a hole. Right side it goes. Zelaya. Quintanilla back to Zelaya. Left putting it in. One miss there. Chance. And a goal for El Salvador. Quintanilla.
Well, it was Quintanilla who gets on the end of it, but great work by Zelaya. He's the one who cuts this one in behind. The deft touch right there. Was he offside? I don't think he was as the ball was played through. When he receives it, maybe, but when the ball's played through, he's standing on the outside of the 18. Good finish for Quintanilla because he hasn't really done much in the beginning of this game.
Bocanegra dove in, did not get the ball, and that created some more problems once that ball got through.
Absolutely, but great work by Zelaya. Takes the run outside, holds possession, takes on 2 players, links up on the 1-2, and then cuts it in behind. That's a young player up front that I talked about early on in the game. He's done a great job.
The goal comes against the run of play. Now the next several minutes become important. What does this do to El Salvador? What does it do to the U.S.? How do they shrug that off?
From El Salvador's point of view, again, it's sitting back, and letting see if they can weather some of the storm that the U.S. can bring at them. But from the other side, Bob Bradley is off the bench. He's concerned. The U.S. going down early, away from home in this atmosphere, it's going to be hard to get back into it. But the ability on the field, JP, and the personalities of these individuals like Dempsey, Ching, Landon Donovan, Michael Bradley, these guys got to pick up, and then they can get them back into it.
First goal scored since '97 by El Salvador against the USA. Raul Diaz-Arce, one of your former teammates, scored that one. First corner for the United States. And Orchundia, the Mexican referee, comes in to separate players.
Keep an eye on Brian Ching, Bocanegra, Michael Bradley. They put themselves in good spots here. Danny Califf coming forward.
This is where a player like Onyewu was also missed for the U.S. on that corner. Bump there, but not enough, apparently. Cleared out. USA will have a throw-in.
Sasha Kleshtin waited too long for that ball. Should have been up and challenging that. Quintanilla, one of the smaller players on the field, out-jumps him for that ball.
The cross in the box. U.S. can't come around and come away with the ball. It's cleared out. Throw in here.
This is a good start for El Salvador. Although I think they still know that the ability on the field, from the U.S., will overwhelm them as time goes on. It'll wear them down.
Headed toward goal, and Montes will make the easy play. You're watching this World Cup Qualifier from a very hostile environment here in El Salvador. Some 50,000 and probably more are watching this one. USA down by a goal in this World Cup Qualifier thanks to Quintanilla's goal. In the 15th minute, he had played over a couple of years with DC United. Wednesday night, the USA hosts Trinidad and Tobago. That's in Nashville. U.S. World Cup Qualifiers on ESPN 2 Wednesdays, 7:30 Eastern Time. El Salvador's ball with Pacheco. Beasley. Broken up there. Bocanegra, the captain, thought about playing it back to Guzan. Did not. You can see Guzan calling for it, motioning, letting him know those visual signs that you talked about. Caleb is on it. The U.S. wanted to take the crowd out with an early goal. They had some momentum going. They were looking pretty strong offensively, but then they gave one up. And the crowd is even more passionate than they were when this one started. Beasley.
You see El Salvador is just happy to drop off and allow them to have that ball. The U.S. back line. But now you can see they're dropping off even deeper, so the territory is there to be taken. That's a bad giveaway right there. Such a question.
El Salvador will come back. And we can't hear the whistles, by the way. When players stop, we'll know. Otherwise, no way to hear a whistle here.
Well, again, that goes back to the visuals. Can you see the body language of the referee? Is he saying play on? It's difficult to hear, like you said, up here in our, I don't know, we've got like a Superman kind of booth here built on the last day. In the middle of this so-called Vietnam, they call it, the fan section.
Some of the fans waved to us. Some did not. Some did not.
Some were other
Some
gestures.
gave us the peace sign.
Yeah.
Some did not.
Yeah.
Sanchez will play it to the right. Played long. Intended for Romero. Now picked up. And a block there. Here's Beasley. El Salvador has shown some skill, some quickness, some precision. So USA can't afford to open up some space on their half.
At that point right there, too, Romero is first to the ball past Sasha Kleshtin. He's got to be careful not to turn his back to players like that and allow them to run in, attacking the goal.
Bradley with a hard challenge there as El Salvador will take over on the right. Martinez. Long for Zelaya. And a foul is going to be called on El Salvador.
I like that kind of challenge from Michael Bradley because somebody needs to get stuck in and change the momentum in this game. You don't want to go down and go early like that to El Salvador in this type of environment, which, you know, they have. So now how do you change it? Well, you got to get the tackles in. You got to win the ball. The more El Salvador has the ball, the more confidence they gain.
Way to the right. Zelaya doubled up there. He's got help coming. Quintanilla broken up. And stepping up and winning it. That's the U.S. coming forward. Question's early ball. Then the return. Question pushed it back. Donovan, Dempsey. That's some nice work there until that last pass. But the U.S. will still get it. Hedjuk. Left-footed cross into the box toward Donovan. Knocked away. El Salvador hustling. Oh, what a play to keep it in. And avoid giving the USA a throw, but now it's cleared out. The U.S. plays it in. Cut off by El Salvador at the back. A high ball. Montes came out, changed his mind. Could cost him. In front. Shot is blocked by Montes as Donovan snuck in. And now there's room on the left. Castillo. Quintanilla. Keep your eye on number 17. He's been a handful for the U.S. Castillo.
Yeah, he's done very well. You know, and again, you know, Dempsey doing a good job of getting control under pressure to at least keep that ball alive, to get it in front of the goal mouth. Landon Donovan getting blocks, but it's a little bit better from the U.S. At least they're getting players forward into the attack.
Anything you want to see more of from the U.S.?
I just think that using the wings a little bit more. If you see El Salvador is really congesting the middle of the field. They're closing down that space. The center backs and the outside backs are tucked in. So why not get the ball switched out to Frankie Hedjuk overlapping, Heath Pierce overlapping.
Guzan will play it to Bocanegra.
And also, too, JP, you look at players, nothing moves faster than the ball. 1 and 2 touch. Get it moving. Change the speed of the game by moving the ball quicker. Has to happen for the U.S.
Hedjuk into the middle. There's room there. Question. Push forward to Donovan. He's taken down. He draws the foul. Free kick. U.S.
You see Bocanegra getting the call there, the nod. Away from camera, you saw Landon Donovan saying, Carlos, come forward here. So there might be a set piece where maybe a bit too far for a strike on goal, but maybe a chip into the back post for Bocanegra or Danny Califf that come forward.
This one beyond 30 yards. Closer to 35. Donovan and Dempsey over the ball.
I think Dempsey hit a strike from here easily with Fulham. He can do it. He has the power.
It is Dempsey. He puts it over, but not high enough. Montes is there.
That's a good strike. Solid strike on goal. Testing the goalkeeper is important early. Montes, obviously, you know, with the distance, he's able to get behind that ball, but that's good. Get it on the frame.
Pacheco for El Salvador. They have the lead on a Quintanilla goal in the 15th minute.
Well, one of the important things now and factors in this game is how does Brad Guzan and the rest of the U.S. team respond? You know, that's the next play. It's the next thing that's very important. You can't get your head down. You can't get too hard on yourself. It's something that, as a young goalkeeper, he needs to continue to work on.
Gonzalez bypassed Enriquez with that pass over the halfway line. Two players pretty much missed it. That call goes against El Salvador.
And my comments are not in regards to Brad Guzan being at fault in any way for that goal. It actually should have been defended better, and Bocanegra and the players at the top of the 18 should have been closing down space.
That actually started way up the field. U.S. seemed to have possession, and then when they lost it, there was a lot of room.
Right, you see there, just Dempsey's going up for the ball. Salvadorian player just not even looking at it, just backing into him. So referee does a good job.
Michael Bradley going in after it. Another El Salvador player goes down. This time the foul is drawn by Zelaya. Free kick coming up for El Salvador. Playing at home here at Cuscatlan Stadium. Every seat taken, and every seat was taken about 5 hours before they kicked this one off. Broken up there, a lunge from Question. Picked up Castillo.
Excellent player, Castillo. Technique, confidence on the ball, awareness, everything about him. He's got pace. Number 17 for El Salvador has been dangerous.
El Salvador in the turn, that's broken up. Dempsey will get it. Up for Beasley, he was sent down. No foul was called, no advantage call. Question to Hedjuk. The defending MLS Cup champion Columbus Crew to Question. Plays for Chivas USA in Major League Soccer. MLS playing this weekend. Minus 5 players who are involved in World Cup qualifying for the U.S. Dempsey's pass cut off. MLS playing tonight and also Thursday night. The defending champs, Columbus, face Real Salt Lake in our MLS Game of the Week. That's on ESPN 2 at 9 Eastern. Donovan's pass back now into the middle towards Beasley with a knock. Trying to get around his man. Montes has it. Good pressure from DeMarcus Beasley.
Oh, it's good pressure. He has to kind of do that because his first touch gets away from him, really. It's a good ball in here, bouncing a bit, comes off of him, tries to chase it down. It's the best he can do. Got to be a little bit better with the final, touch in that last part of the field.
U.S. coming back on defense. Pressure on the ball from El Salvador will result in that giveaway. The cross inside, headed away. Pacheco. Alfredo Pacheco's pass to Castillo. Knocked away. Hedjuk. Open man on the right. That's Donovan. Number 10 for the USA, cutting to the middle. Nice play to elude Gonzalez. Landon still has it. Plays it back to Question.
Well, he has to because nobody else is in advance of the ball. He's waiting for the rest of the team to catch up to him. Heath Pierce is jogging on the left side. Get forward.
Here's Hedjuk. To Beasley. Blocked. Long shot from distance is wide.
Well, one thing is, from El Salvador's point of view, they're putting a lot of pressure down the center part of the field, and the runs off the ball are very important. Look at our 2 center backs here, stepped up really high, and there's a space in behind. Michael Bradley doing a good job of trailing that back, but it's important not to leave that space early. One center back go and step up, the other one drops it behind, cover and balance. Michael Bradley providing that kind of ball-winning mentality and chasing from behind in midfield. Has to continue to do that.
Beasley. Running strong in the wing. Trying to play it inside. Lost it. And then did he push off? That's going to be the call.
I'm thinking that Beasley and Heath Pierce are not really connecting too well down the left side early in this game and not really offering too much in terms of the attack. Defensively, okay, you're sitting back and you're letting players run at you and things like that. DeMarcus is actually probably one of the better defenders, quoted from Bruce Arena years ago. I played him at left back at times. So, where's the urgency to get forward, really? Take people on one-on-one. That's what you're looking for on that left-hand side.
Montes cut out by Hedjuk, and there's a foul again on the U.S. on Caleb. It is Romero who is down. Free kick for El Salvador.
Well, again, the back line of the U.S. a little bit too stretched wide. I think Heath Pierce needs to tuck inside a little bit. Leave the wide player.
Played long out on the wing. Brought down. Romero. Shot! Just missed. That's a 2-0 game. That's how close it was.
Well, again, it starts, the point I just made, Pierce, if you're going out to challenge that ball, you win that ball as a left back. And then the second one up inside, you've got to pick up the second balls. You can't let the scraps just fall to El Salvador.
Only the fingertip of Brad Guzan saved that one from a 2-0 game. And off that second corner. Into the box it goes. U.S. will clear it ahead. Donovan waits for the help. Plays it calmly back to Hedjuk. And then that's just given right back to El Salvador. Gonzalez. Caleb in the air. Guzan was coming out. Confusion in the back. And now he grabs it. You could see the body language. He's saying, I can't hear.
He's saying, I can't hear you. And he was yelling at Caleb, keeper's ball. You can see him coming out. He's approaching, advancing towards the 18. Dan and Caleb can't hear him.
Donovan touching it back for Dempsey. Bradley, that's blocked. You get another piece of it. Cleared away. U.S. looks for it. Taken away. Full speed ahead. Enriquez will get a throw in. 33rd minute according to the stadium clock. A 1-0 lead for El Salvador. Not expected to advance to the World Cup in South Africa. It would be an upset if they do. They're not among the 3 or 4 favored teams to get through, but getting to this final round is big for them. They qualified for a couple of World Cups in their history, last one being in '82.
This is the thing, there's plenty of space to play here, but again, it's very important that make the most out of those opportunities of space. Move the ball quickly. Here's a foul given. Top of the 18.
Good spot for a free kick.
Landon Donovan, the target there, backing up into his man, drawing the foul. Long ball at the back from Bradley. Trying to force the issue, I think, but it works. Here it is again. Just a little bit of a shove there, the tug. Didn't see much, maybe a little bit. Referee kind of gave us a gift there, I think, gave the U.S. a gift.
About 24 yards out for this free kick. Dempsey and Donovan again are the two. U.S. is ready. Donovan puts it up and over Montes.
Well, again, the wall does a good job of jumping here, making themselves big. There's Donovan's kick. Not on target. Got to make the most of those opportunities.
Montes on that long kick, well over the halfway line again. Question. Got it free to Ching, then to Dempsey. Pacheco, he was among 3 players coming back, cutting off that area. Hedjuk with a throw in. That's intercepted. That's just really given away. Zelaya and Quintanilla. Zelaya forced that one. Is that deflected? Yes, it's a corner.
Very determined run by Zelaya. Picks up the ball from Quintanilla. Bad turnover from Dempsey. And he just takes the ball and sprints as far as he can up the pitch. Hey, gets a shot off and it deflects, and then they own possession. You got to do those things. You're making things happen for his team. That's what he's doing. A young player. Scored 4 goals, though, in the qualifying stages so far.
Third corner coming up for El Salvador.
U.S. can't afford to be sloppy at this point in the game. They need to be sharper, better passing with the ball, better decisions.
Played short this time. Defended there pretty well. The U.S. tried to angle that off, but there was Sanchez stepping in and winning it back for El Salvador. Enriquez with that pass. Quintanilla. The shot deflected. The U.S. will give up another corner. Could have been an own goal as well.
That's a difficult situation there because when you look at the strike that comes out here, first of all, the commitment from Bradley, but Quintanilla turns off of him. Strike on goal there. You see there Brian Ching coming back, giving an effort to mark up. Could have been offside if he steps up. I think that maybe that's a discussion.
Bent around. Guzan came out, waved at it, didn't get a piece of it. It'll be a goal kick for the United States. 24-year-old Brad Guzan, goalkeeper of the year in Major League Soccer in 2007. Now Brad Friedel's backup with Aston Villa.
Yeah, I talked to Brad Friedel today actually, and said that Brad Guzan has been training very well. He's mixed in over there, settled in very nicely with the players, and he works so hard. So he's just he's done quite well. He's got to make sure he manages himself, the mental side of the game, getting stronger, and these are the opportunities that he wants to be part of, to be tested.
Sanchez to Quintanilla, blocked by Pierce. Beasley brought it down, picked off. They almost spotted Zelaya going through. Try to isolate him. Throw in El Salvador. Concern on the U.S. bench for probably two reasons. The way maybe they're playing, but also the way El Salvador is playing.
Well, it's a thing. You open up the door, when you make little mistakes like that, the crowd gets behind them, and it changes the rhythm in the game, changes the feel of the game, and that's one thing the players of the U.S. got to be better at. They got to close the space down, get stuck into the tackles, and then keep the ball. The longer they keep the ball, the better it is.
You have El Salvador now playing with some confidence.
Absolutely. I'm sure they didn't expect coming in here to score that early against the U.S. side. It's been so dominant in CONCACAF.
Bradley's ball. Dempsey trying to get through. Pacheco will clear it out. It'll be a throw-in.
It's a good ball played into Dempsey. Sanchez kind of loses his marker there, but Pacheco covering in balance. He's doing a good job. Well, if the New York Red Bulls want to sign him, I think it's be a good signing. So far, he's done very well.
Michael Bradley trying to cut it in. It's cleared out. Quintanilla. Martinez. 40th minute here in El Salvador. A sea of blue at Cuscatlan Stadium. Long ball over the top, intended for Castillo. We talk about the crowd here and how passionate, how energized they are. You've played here. What's your memory of this?
Well, first off, just like how intimidating it can be right away. And besides being stuck in an elevator for 40 minutes on game day, it's just the intimidation factor that you come out here, JP. But connecting the passes and being sure of yourself is the main thing. You've got to set the stall out right away. You can't show the crowd that you're affected by it. Mental toughness. Make a difference in this team. That's very important.
Quintanilla played it back. Long, intended for Zelaya. USA had two players back there just in case there was some support. Sanchez to the right. Martinez. More possession from El Salvador. They played that one early. A long run by Martinez. Too far. Bocanegra to the right for Caleb. All the way to the back for Gonzalez for El Salvador. Bradley got a piece. USA trying to get the rest of it with question. And it's El Salvador instead taking it. Pacheco. Castillo.
The pace of Castillo just gets away from Dempsey like that. That's good work rate by Clint Dempsey to stay with that player. Did a good job.
Ching holding it until help is coming. Then he gets bowled over and draws the foul. Meanwhile, Dempsey is still down upfield by the halfway line.
Well, here's a foul here. Is Brian Ching doing a very good job of using his body, being big and strong. Ball gets away from him right here, but he just steps in front, knows the tackle's coming. And that's one of the other things, JP. You said, what else do you need to do well come into these environments? You have to be alert. You have to always be thinking and be sharp on your game. One thing Brian Ching's done a very good job of up front today.
Beasley, free kick, curls it inside. And the U.S. has scored, but the flag is up. Flag is up. There were several players there that looked to be in an offside position.
Talk about an offside trap really working.
Yeah.
Well, you see here, they step up. Yeah, everybody's on. Is there one player holding there? But it's close. There's one blue player, the last guy to come out. Brian Ching, it's a good finish.
Judging by their body language, they knew that the flag was going to be up.
And normally you step over the ball at times when you're doing those free kicks just to see if a back line does come off.
El Salvador's ball in USA territory. 43rd minute.
This is a different El Salvadorian team that we saw in the last match against Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad had the better of the game. They were up 2-0. They came back late in the second half of those goals and the free kicks. But really, this is a good start for them.
U.S. trying to break that up. Ball played to the halfway line. Almost misplayed there by Enriquez, but he got it free to Gonzalez, who knocked it out. USA's ball. Got a player down, too, for El Salvador. Coming up at halftime, we'll head back to the studio. Rob Stone and Alexei Lalas among the topics. CONCACAF qualifying. Mexico had a very good result today. Long overdue, you might say. An interview with Inter Milan's head coach Jose Mourinho, and David Beckham has set a record for caps with England in terms of field players. We'll let the guys in the studio handle that. Still has a way to go to catch Peter Shilton, but Bobby Moore's record is gone.
Yeah. Peter Shilton, 125 caps internationally. David Beckham with a great assist today to Wayne Rooney for the header against Slovakia. Very good ball. Came in as a halftime sub, David Beckham. See there, Landon Donovan. I think it's important that Landon Donovan has a little bit of more of a connection with Brian Ching for the U.S. to do well. They have an understanding with each other. Just in terms of spacing on the field, they need to be stepped up a little bit higher. You know, and allow maybe Sasha Kleshin or Bradley to maybe close up that space in as an attacking midfielder. They're side by side, the two midfielders. That means that Landon Donovan has to drop off a little bit more to pick up the ball at times. Push them up, get these players up higher.
Meanwhile, Romero is carried off. El Salvador naturally hopes that he is going to be okay. An important player to the cause. So El Salvador playing a man down. The final moments of this, 2 minutes it looks like, added on the far side of the field. The fourth official's signal. If we're seeing that correctly.
It's good work by Brian Ching. It's so congested in there, JP, that laying that ball back to somebody and then switching it out. Frankie Hedjuk has acres rooms of space on this right-hand side when he's overlapping. U.S. got to pick their heads up and find Hedjuk a little bit more. He loves to run, Frankie. You know how fit he is.
Oh, yeah. One of the fittest players around. Montes just got a warning for wasting time. He's already had words before with the referee. He should be more careful. In the air, Bradley towards Beasley. Out of play. We're in stoppage time. USA trailing here in this first half against the home side, El Salvador. Romero wants back in. With the referee's permission, he is back on the field and back down on the field. Martinez with that pass. Romero back up. El Salvador's ball.
Not sure. I think Bocanegra might have thought it came off of a U.S. player. He could have let that just run out of play.
USA trying to defend strong here at the very end. Can't give El Salvador any more momentum going into the locker room at halftime. And they're going to get another corner kick out of it.
Romero doing a good job there. Good work on the ball. There's the free kick specialist from El Salvador. And Quintanilla to take this in. Swinger again. Quintanilla, the last two balls he said is over hit to the back post. El Salvador hasn't had anybody really take advantage of that space in the back.
Fourth corner for El Salvador. Driven ball, but there was Guzan cutting it off.
Good hands. Very well-driven ball. And a good tester for Brad. And this is a great ball. A little bit overhit, but the idea was there. The idea was there. Trying to free up Landon Donovan. Use his pace. Again, here's Brad organizationally getting things sorted out. The ball driven in hard. Good hands for the...
That was it. We are now at halftime. USA trails El Salvador by the score of 1-0. Only goal scored in the 15th minute. It was by Quintanilla. So El Salvador at home has the lead. We toss things now back to the studio. Rob Stone and Alexi Lalas.
It has been 16 years and 5 days since El Salvador last led the U.S. in a game, but they have the lead at the break in San Salvador, 1 over the U.S. Rob Stone, Alexi Lalas joining you back here. A good, composed start for the U.S. in this game as El Salvador was playing that compact type soccer. Then things kind of broke down. The buzzword for the second half? Patience.
Patience. It'll come. I mean, soccer tactics 101. When you're playing against a team that's better than you, pull back into that shell. And that's exactly what El Salvador did. U.S. had all the play, all the possession, but what the U.S. has to do in the second half, and John Hutch touched on it, get it out wide. All the congestions in the middle, find your wing play. That's where you're going to find the joy. That's where you're going to find those crosses that end up with Ching putting in the back of the net.
And again, no time to panic right now. A lot of soccer left. But on the bench for the U.S., very thin offensively, only the 19-year-old Jozy Altidore.
Yeah, I mean, there are some offensive weapons out there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the U.S. can't score with what they have coming on. But I think, when Bob Bradley looked at this game, he said, look, this is a game that we should win. It's going to be difficult. Yes, it's a crazy crowd. And the fact is that El Salvador took their one chance. They had a couple other, and they got a little bit more confident as the half progressed. But the U.S. can control this game and can come back and score and can win this game.
And the U.S. had the crowd out of the game early on. That goal brought the blue back in and brought them in strong. So coming up when we return, Mexico, wow, their national team in a bit of
El Salvador 1-0 after 45 minutes. Eliseo Quintanilla has the game's only goal. This is where we are. They built this for us. Would love to give you a little tour of it if we could. It's nice. It's home, right?
Yeah, we could get 6 people in here.
Yeah, we probably could.
Nice. Right in the middle of, all this rowdy crowd. It's nice to get up here. It was very hard.
Highlights of the first half.
Well, speaking of, giveaways and the crowd getting behind them, there's a giveaway by Beasley for his touch, and then El Salvador's just off to the races. Great work again, we say by Zelaya here, as he takes on 2 players. Caleb and Bocanegra pushed out there, and here's the 1-2, and now watch who gets on the end of this. Romero, just deft little touch to Quintanilla, and the finish. Great finish. Unorganized by the U.S. in terms of being all over the place and stretched. And then on the other end, here's that set piece where it was a little bit close with Brian Ching on there's the offside call. Referee's assistant doing a good job. Barely offside, but yep, any part of his body, head, anything else that's closer to the goal line, and the second to last player, he's in an offside position. There's the head coach, Bob Bradley. Mike Sorber, I shared this field with Mike Sorber back in '97, that last game we were talking about. And here's the first half stats.
The numbers are pretty even, except in the corner kick department, certainly. I'm only surprised that the low number of fouls, 12 in this one.
Yeah, and I think it's going to pick up a little bit more at halftime if I'm Bob Bradley, and I'm not. But if I am, I'm telling my players, the outside players, get chalk on your boots. Get really wide. Open up the game a little bit more for the players through the middle of the pitch and create some space. Switch the point of attack quicker. It's too slow. You can't play against a team that drops off too deep like that. It's way too predictable. You've got to be unpredictable and play quicker.
We'll see how El Salvador plays with this lead and another 45 minutes to go. Up on the right, they'll play it on the touch by Martinez. Martinez will get it back. Under pressure from Beasley. Martinez keeps his run going. Bocanegra playing way up. Got a piece of the ball, but now it's given right back to Sanchez. Pacheco. Pacheco had a very strong first half. So did Castillo, Quintanilla, and others. Foul was called in the U.S. Free kick is coming up here for El Salvador. They have to play at Costa Rica on Wednesday. That's their next game. USA home in Nashville versus Trinidad and Tobago. Over the top, inside the box, wide of Guzan. Pierce just kicks it out of play.
This is not a good start from the U.S. point of view. Too much open space there. They let a ball come across the goal mouth like that. A dangerous ball by Quintanilla. Got to tighten things up, especially through the midfield, and need a little bit more out of players like DeMarcus Beasley. Very quiet in the first half. Needs to be more involved.
Salazar with a throw-in. It's going to be cleared away. It's the USA's ball. Let's focus in on the storylines we talked about at the top. Change in goal, Guzan for the suspended Tim Howard. Onyewu with a bit of an injury, so he's kept out. How has that affected this game? I'm not saying it's one guy's fault or the other's, but how does that change the dynamics?
Well, it changes things a lot, actually, because, JP, Tim Howard is a natural leader for this team out of the back. He makes great decisions on the ball. He's going to organize his back four. I'm not saying Guzan's not, but in a hostile environment, it's very loud. The other thing is Caleb steps in for Onyewu. Onyewu is a big beast of a player. He's an imposing factor. He's great on set pieces. He's great defensively in the air, so he'll shut down those things. But, again, the midfield too sloppy right now with the U.S. Too many turnovers. It's not good enough. They've made a little bit of some changes here. Put Dempsey up a little bit higher up the pitch to link up with Brian Ching, and Landon Donovan pushed up higher. Got to see Beasley get involved. Sashi Kleshin's got to hold the ball a little bit better through the midfield.
Bob Bradley has Jozy Altidore and Jose Torres warming up. Among the potential subs at his disposal tonight, neither team has made any changes here entering the second half. Long for Ching, heading it down. Dempsey jumps on it, didn't get a shot off. This one comes through, but it's a weak one off the boot of Question.
It's a tough ball. It's a hard ball being laid back by Dempsey, and if, really players at this level, you have to adapt to that. Keep the first touch, hold it, then set something up, be a little bit more patient. No need to shoot from there.
Tim Howard, Onyewu, Freddie Adu, all in that camera shot. Tim Howard suspended. Onyewu slightly injured, and Freddie Adu was among the four players not chosen for this one tonight. Eddie Johnson also among those guys not suiting up. Martinez across. Quintanilla. They try to get the give and go. Now it's the overlap. Pacheco. Michael Bradley is there to sweep it away. Towards Ching, but he's all alone at the moment against three defenders. He did well with it. Got it free to Dempsey, then to Ching. He spotted the help coming in Donovan, but it was deflected and never got to Landon.
Well, it's a good clearance by Michael Bradley, top of the box. But like I said, Ching is on his own. He's up front. Dempsey tries to close it down. His chance goes wide. But again, the U.S. very reluctant to get forward. Not quick enough, to at least anticipate, see what's happening, and squeeze out. I see Guzan actually yelling, get out from the back, get out. The more that the back line pushes up, that means everybody else, domino effect. The midfield pushes on. Everybody gets forward. Got to get back into the game. They need to be a little bit, this is gut check right now for the U.S. points. They need to get stuck into this situation.
Beasley at the halfway line. Finds Michael Bradley. Kept on the ground towards Dempsey. That's blocked. Here's El Salvador. Castillo, Martinez. Laid back off to Salazar. Martinez lost it there. El Salvador, they were quick to get it back and possess and try to get a strike. This time swept away by the U.S. Beasley's pass. Tough one for Question to reach, and the ball is lost again.
There's no need to play that ball through there. Just came from defensive pressure through the middle again. Open it up wide.
Dempsey. Play back to Donovan. Even though it's a road game, the USA came in as a favorite. They've only lost once in 18 previous games to El Salvador. Talent-wise, they certainly have the edge against this team, but on this night, El Salvador has had a very, very strong game. Caleb's pass to the right. He'll get it back and settle. Towards Hedjuk. Cut off. All the way back. USA starts on their side of the halfway line. Pass from Pierce. The knock towards Beasley. That's just blasted out of play. Throw in US. Left there. Dempsey and Beasley weren't together on that. Ball played through. Pierce comes back for it. All the way back. Feet of Guzan. Question. Towards Brian Ching. Holding it up against two players. Got that ball across. Dempsey trying to get in after it, but it was cleared away by El Salvador. Foul is going to be called in the U.S. John, for those that watch the USA versus Mexico and are tuning in tonight, what's the difference in what they've seen from the U.S.?
A whole lot, actually. I think, number one, just from the attitude of the U.S. players. It's not been there tonight. And taking this game, by the scruff of the neck and say it's ours. Of course you come away from home. It's always difficult. It's very hard. But against that mental stress, that pressure that's on you, you've got to be confident coming out here and play the way you play. Against Mexico, the ball was moved so quickly from the U.S. Tonight, it's a little bit slower. Team drops off. You've got to be able to adjust. How do you pick out your points?
Cut off there. Was that a foul? Yes, apparently it was. And now you're going to give Romero and company an opportunity here, close on a free kick.
Well, again, this is a concerning thing for Bob Bradley's team. Romero, good feet there. You see Michael Bradley trying to apply the pressure, gets tangled up. No need to give a free kick away on the top of the box like that. Need a little bit more discipline from the U.S. side if they're going to get back into this game.
It's a pressure-free kick, to say the least. Down 1-0. And Guzan knows that. Positioning the wall. He's ready. Romero or Quintanilla? Quintanilla over Guzan.
Fans of El Salvador will be questioning why not Romero, since he was a hero in the last, really, 2 games. He's had 3 free kicks that have done well, scored goals. The late heroics in the game against Trinidad and Tobago.
He Pierce to the left, under pressure. Played it back to Bocanegra. Long ball towards Dempsey. Ching brought it down, laid it off. Question tried to get it, could not. Bradley couldn't either. Here's El Salvador one more time with Pacheco going wide. No flag is up. Caleb took a look over the shoulder. Look at these moves by El Salvador. They still have possession. That last pass failed under pressure. Wednesday night, U.S. back in action hosting Trinidad and Tobago. That game in Nashville, Tennessee. The U.S. World Cup Qualifier is on ESPN2. Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern Time. Trinidad and Honduras today tied at 1. Mexico got a win that they desperately needed, so that's changing the table in CONCACAF. And if this result stands, that would add to it, obviously, because the USA could have and still could be on top of this group with a right result today.
And that's a very important result in Azteca Stadium for Mexico to stay on top, especially for Sven-Goran Eriksson, the head coach. He was under a lot of pressure, JP, and there was talk of if they did not produce a good result that he would be gone. He would be fired.
Foul was called there. And is there a card coming? Yes, there is on Michael Bradley.
You see the foul. Again, Romero picks this ball up there. Deft little touch just to get out of the way. Michael Bradley sliding in late. Enough to merit the yellow card.
Caleb being chased back. Under pressure. Played it to safety. Out.
The noise of the crowd affects that as well. You can't hear the shout. Guzan, I think, was asking for the ball. Again, it's the visual, picking your head up, seeing what the players want. Body language is very important right now.
Long ball by El Salvador. Their body language looks strong here, and it has ever since they scored that first goal. Castillo, that's impressive. That was not.
Well, it's enough to entice the crowd. When you show a little magic like that. Didn't go anywhere, but still, what a special player he is for El Salvador.
I know MLS teams are playing this weekend, but if they're T-bowing this game, there's a guy to sign, Castillo.
Yeah, good player. Again, it's a national team game, so he gets up for that. The energy's there. Can you do it on a week-to-week basis as a professional?
True.
That's a different side of it.
That's our look at him.
Zelaya up front as well is doing well. Young player. Has a bright future.
MLS has done well with El Salvadorian players. You played with and against some great ones. Diaz Arce.
Absolutely. Goal scorer. Yep. Extraordinary.
Cienfuegos too.
Cienfuegos.
You played against
one of the best.
Here's Beasley. USA needs to generate something on offense. Montes has not had a busy day in goal. I think at the end of the day, that'll be one thing.
That's not good enough from Sasha Kleshin. Sorry, JP, to cut you off. It's got to be better.
Played it over to the right. Dempsey. Taken down. Again, we can't hear the whistle, but it was called.
I was saying there, Sasha Kleshin, he's good with his feet, great ideas in the game. This is not one of his stronger games. The ball gets played out wide. I was surprised Dempsey took that on himself because Frankie Hedjuk was stretching out to get to that ball. He was going to ping it into the box. Again, the communication there maybe not the best with this volume in the crowd here.
Beasley is ready. Sending it in, a header over. Montes. The opportunity was there. And Montes hurt himself on that play. He is in some distress. Have to see what he did exactly. You could hear him scream as he jumped. So it looked like he didn't collide with anything right there.
Yeah, it looked as if his knee kind of buckled. Not sure. Maybe he pulled a muscle.
Well, he was in some pain. He's still being looked at. Jozy Altidore, meanwhile, is up by the fourth official, getting ready to come in. I was going to say to you before, one thing for the U.S., if they were to lose this game the way this game is going, they haven't tested the goalkeeper. If you're playing against a goalkeeper, and fair enough, he makes 3 or 4 big saves and he's outstanding, you give him his due. But I think that's one area where the U.S. would not be happy. They've not really tested Montes.
Absolutely, and Montes only the one save from Clint Dempsey's free kick is that comes to mind, and that's about it, JP. So yeah, you've got to be testing him from all sorts of angles, and whipping the ball in the box is very important.
Bob Bradley just called Sasha Kleshtin over for a conversation.
You change the formation a little bit here. Put 3 up front at times. You can play a 4-3-3. Altidore looks like he's coming on. That's a good sub. Good sign. A young player. Loves to run at people up front.
No timeouts, obviously, in soccer, so this is where you communicate. If you're a head coach, there's an injured player down, and he's been down for a little bit here, and now Bob Bradley is calling over Dempsey. So this has turned into almost like a mini chalk talk right now with this injury on the field.
Yep. There's an opportunity to reset things, and like you said,
you're taking out Pierce, John, out of the back.
Yeah, tactical situation here. Take the left back out. Play 3 in the back, perhaps. Maybe ask Beasley to kind of defend on that side still. He's capable of doing that, more than capable. And then getting forward when he can into the attack. Bring Sasha Kleshtin maybe out to the left to fill some space. Again, are they asking now Altidore and Brian Ching to be the 2 front runners, or are they asking Landon Donovan to sit back with Michael Bradley a little bit in the midfield? It'll be interesting to see how this shapes out.
That was going to be my question to you. My other question to you is, how long, I wonder, will the Mexican referee, Orchundia, wait on this?
Nah, this is too long. At this point, he should be off the field. If the keeper can't get up at this point, he should be stretched off the field. Wasting a lot of time here. I mean, you see,
Onyewu was pointing to the watch.
I mean, you got to add on 4 minutes at least.
Yeah. Well, you have to add it on, but again, too, the referee's discretion here in terms of, it's the goalkeeper position. It's not a field player position. So only 1 goal has been scored in this game, and it was El Salvador scoring it against the run of play. Quintanilla, who used to play for DC United, scored it.
Zelaya does a lot of work here. Romero leaves it on. But there's Quintanilla getting on the inside of the defense. You see here, he gets by. The outside back's got to be tucking in offensive cover and balance, but they were really all over the place, the U.S., on that counterattack. The ball was given away, if you remember, by Beasley in the other end of the field. Got to keep your shape, be tucked inside.
World rankings will tell you how big of an upset this would be, regardless of the venue, if this result stands. Now, Montes is back up. What I want to say before, because it's the goalkeeper, obviously, if he leaves the game, that's it. So, you sub the goalkeeper for another goalkeeper, Montes' day is done. So, a little more leeway. That's Gomez, who started in the last game and who has alternated in that position. So I think that's why you're giving more leeway to the goalkeeper in that position as opposed to a field player who leaves and can come back. Montes is apparently going to try it out.
If anything, this, like you said, JP, gives the U.S., Bob Bradley, and the players a little bit of time to regroup, reassess where they are and what they need to do in terms of changes. Something they need to apply.
Now, for sure you want to test Montes, who was just injured. We'll see how much stoppage time is put on, but you would think it'd be close to 5 minutes or somewhere in that vicinity, maybe more. Intended for Altidore. Free kick is coming up for the U.S. Not from there, though. Beasley and Donovan around the ball. This will be for Landon to take. Donovan puts it up for grabs. Bicycle kick out of there by El Salvador, but it could be coming back at him. Nope. Castillo, he got free. Knocked away, out of play before any damage was done. Hedjuk. Michael Bradley. Beasley. Taking it, trying to take it around Martinez. Martinez played that one pretty well. Quintanilla trying to play it to Romero. Stepping in, winning it, Dempsey. Nice cut. Altidore right across. Missed Dempsey. Jozy tried to fight his way through. Could not get it. Caleb was on it. Altidore was the only sub that Bob Bradley used in that Mexico game in Columbus. And Jozy's found it tough playing over in Europe. Was with Villarreal. They loaned him to a second division team. He's not played there at all. So his last game was in December. Hedjuk is the team he plays for now in the second division. Quintanilla holds it and lays it off. Sanchez moving it back. Wide for Pacheco. Intended for Sanchez. Tackled out by Frankie Hedjuk.
The U.S. shape now becomes a kind of 4-4-2 in the defensive part of the situation when they're on the defensive. And then when they're in the attack, Beasley's allowed to get forward at kind of a 3-4-3. So I think it's a good sub to bring Altidore on. Another imposing body, a big striker up front that can create, run off the ball a little bit, get in behind, open up the seams for other players. Cheyo's done such a good job. His work rate's been fantastic. Just needs that second player up there to connect a little bit.
Collision there. Ching was involved in that. El Salvador clears. All the way downfield.
The one thing that you don't want to see the U.S. doing is just clipping these hopeful balls in the air to nobody. Continue to be disciplined, keep the ball, stretch out the pitch really wide, open up the game as much as you can, but move the ball. 2 touch, 1 and 2 touch. Get it moving.
There's a lot of time left, and you're down by 1, not 2. Bocanegra. He's got room, he's got time. Trying to find Altidore.
That's a wasted ball for me from Bocanegra. Run at Beasley. You know, he's got Martinez down the right-hand side. Create a 2-on-1. Commit a player. Run with the ball. Take the space.
The Dempsey pass to Bradley. Bradley taking on a player or two. Got it free to Jozy Altidore. Lost it on the cut. And El Salvador is able to move it upfield. That looked enterprising, though, with Michael Bradley doing what you said, taking on a player or two. Hedjuk. El Salvador continues to lead in this one, 1-0 on a Quintanilla goal in the 15th minute. Michael Bradley. Question. He'll have a goal. The shot over Montes. Not really tested Montes since his injury either.
And this is better from the U.S. A little bit more of a determined run and a good service there by Bradley. And he has to take a shot from there. The ball sits up nicely for him. Just not the best finish there. Strike, sorry. Question, but you got to hit the target. But again, a little bit better from the U.S. in terms of penetration.
Beasley and Guzan communicating with one another. Bocanegra. Michael Bradley. Up for Dempsey. He'll play it ahead. Ching. Altidore. Trying to find Hedjuk. And we've got a player down for El Salvador. In the box. That was Gonzalez, who apparently was fouled by Altidore.
Jozy trying to pick the ball up, just pulling the player down. Trying to touch it past him, a little bit of a cheeky touch, but doesn't get it. Unsuccessful. Better from Dempsey, though. Running the ball at the heart of the defense, trying to create some things and commit players.
Beasley. Back to Guzan. DeMarcus Beasley will slowly move it up the field. Finding Altidore. Jumping in his question. Behind him is Bradley. He'll think about having a go. And now it's a low shot, but Montes gives no rebound and holds on.
You feel the momentum shifting a little bit for the U.S. Better play by getting it forward, out wide, linking it up. See here, laying this ball back to Michael Bradley. We know he can shoot from distance. And keeping it on the frame is very important. Anything from a goalkeeper can bounce off. The rebound's there, so this is better, a little bit better.
They had players around if that ball came out of Montes' grasp. Beasley. In towards the box. Montes came out. It's a loose ball. And it's wide. Goal kick.
Montes overcommits there. Brian Ching, very big, gets above and wins that header. But unfortunate that didn't fall onto the frame. Another high ball from Beasley. I think it's been driven a little bit more. And again, the outside wingers and backs need to get down to the end of the touchline there, at least to service some from different angles. They're playing everything from an angle of 35 yards out. Makes it a little bit easier for the defense to get set and for the keeper.
Should they be trying to find Landon Donovan more? We haven't seen him touch a ball in a while.
Well, he's trying to find the game from inside the seams there in the middle of the pitch. And again, if you do get the guys out high, JP, and you open up the game, the defense has to turn their backs to these players. Now you can cut a ball back and shift it into Landon's feet early. But we're not doing that. The U.S. is not turning them out wide.
Meanwhile, John Bob Bradley is getting ready to make another sub. So Jose Torres up by the fourth official, and the indication is question is coming out, and that is the switch that's going to be made. Torres in, question out. Midfielder for a midfielder, but besides the fresh legs, what can Jose Torres bring in right now?
Well, one thing he can do is, in terms of holding that position in the midfield, allow Michael Bradley to step a little bit more forward. We remember Bradley scoring so many goals at Herenveen and shooting from distance. He did it against Mexico in the second goal. Maybe that Torres will have to hold in there and share a little bit more responsibility.
Oh, played across! El Salvador scores again! Castillo!
Again, here's the play, gets past Beasley, and it's a great service in the box. Frankie Hedjuk out-jumped there by Castillo on the back post. Talk about a threatening player all game, Castillo, and he caps it off with this goal. The U.S. have got to do better defending. DeMarcus Beasley, if you're dropping off as a left back here, and that's the tactical changes by Bob Bradley, takes Ian Pierce off. But if you're going to be a left back, you've got to win that ball. Got to be marked up. Still plenty of time for the U.S. to get back into it. Things not looking so rosy right now.
Well, I'm asking about what Torres can do when he comes in. As we see, Montes is down at the other end. So the goalkeeper is back in pain. But I was going to say, we're talking about what Torres can do when he comes in, and right away, as he's coming in, it's on the defensive side that the USA gets burnt.
Yeah, again, the U.S. just not alert enough, didn't shut things down, and El Salvador could feel the energy in the crowd in this stadium. They're still using that, and that comes against the run of play, JP, because U.S., or at least a 5-6 minute spell there, were creating more opportunities and going to goal.
Can you compare this atmosphere to anything that you've played in? I mean, think recent or long time ago?
Recently, in my backyard. But no,
I want
this atmosphere. No, I would say that when you play in the EPL, when you play away from home and not as many fans travel, of course in this case, not many U.S. fans here at all, just the complete stadium has taken over this game. The buzz. Playing down here in '97 was the last time I played against El Salvador. Again, and the only loss was in '92. You just saw that graphic. But Montes, right now he's playing games. He's taking the sting out of this game. He's happy to walk off being 2-0 up as a goalkeeper. And he's slowing things down for El Salvador. Montes the goalkeeper. So the sub comes in.
Juan Gomez will come into the game. Confident, you would think, with a 2-0 lead. I wonder how much stoppage time is going to be put on now. I mean, there could be some real extensive time. That's the second time Montes went down.
Now, there has to be 5 or 6 minutes put on as stoppage time. Easy.
The game resumes, and now the U.S. more desperate, down by 2. The one-goal hole was bad enough, but not that severe. Down by 2 now on the road. Different. Torres Donovan into the box, headed toward goal. We talked about testing Montes, especially when he was hurt. New goalkeeper coming in, you really want to have a go at him if you can.
I disagree with the referee's decision right there. I think that was a foul against Jozy Altidore. He was sprinting to the ball. Martinez came on the other side of him. The U.S. cannot all of a sudden just start sending long balls into the box. There's plenty of time left to distribute the ball. Again, the circulation of the ball from one side of the field to the other has to be better with the U.S. El Salvador is really making the field small. They're compacting it. They're dropping off, but the spaces are wide, and the U.S. have not done a good enough job of taking advantage of that.
Too far for Hedjuk. It goes out of play. The USA have made 2 changes to their lineup this half. El Salvador made 1, and that was the goalkeeper for injury. Ball will go out for a throw-in for the United States. So better than a half hour gone in this second half, and probably less than that when you think about the stoppage time that's going to be put on. But how does the U.S. get that 1 goal to get them back into the game?
Question that Bob Bradley is asking as well as a head coach, but he's not on the field, can't make a difference. It's the players now.
Ching to Hedjuk in the box, the cross, the header, and Jozy Altidore has gotten that goal that brings the USA back 2-1. Oh, the question was just answered.
Well, that's exactly what we just talked about. Getting the ball wide, overlapping. Frankie Hedjuk gets into the space. Good service there by Brian Ching. He's done a good job, and there's a good ball. Look at Altidore sitting on the back post, and that's how you take this thing out of the crowd. Jozy Altidore, good finish on the header. Good ball by Frankie Hedjuk from the Columbus crew. And again, it all starts with the ball played into Brian Ching. Very calm, cool on the ball, turns, looks up as a big striker, feeds that ball, the overlap and run. There's a space wide and behind that the U.S. has not taken advantage of as of yet, and now they do finally, and that's how they get the answer.
Not bad for a guy that hasn't played since December 14th. We're talking Altidore, and going off the field was Zelaya. Well, the game has changed here on that goal by Altidore, and there's still a lot of time left. But the USA desperately needed that goal. Now let's see how El Salvador plays. Do they feel the pressure? Just a 1-goal game now. And how does the U.S. play with that Altidore goal bringing them back? He's the only one, Jozy, on the USA score sheet tonight so far. Dempsey looking for it. Donovan played it off. Walked out for a corner kick, but more has been happening since Hedjuk has stepped forward on that right flank.
Absolutely. It's about time, too. Talked about the outside backs getting involved, and Frankie Hedjuk seems to be the only one that's doing it now.
On the USA's second corner. Loose ball inside the box, and now it's finally moved away. Guzan way out of the box. Finds Beasley. Got a new goalkeeper in there. Gomez has not been tested. We got subs up on the other side for El Salvador as it's shipped across. They're playing a man down. And they want to rectify that quickly. Especially since the USA has scored that goal.
And El Salvador playing the game now. A few players lying down on the field, trying to kill the game off. They know the energy and the momentum has shifted again with Altidore's goal. And they're looking for more subs
So
from El Salvador.
Zelaya out with an injury, number 11.
And again, here's the long ball into the box by Beasley, but the flick on, and there's Ching. Just holds it up, lays it into a great overlap and run by Frankie Hedjuk. Very simple. They make it look easy, but you've got to have players willing to take advantage of those spaces and get forward.
There's the new player, Carlos Ayala. This is only his 5th appearance for his country. And he replaces a guy that's really done well, Zelaya. So El Salvador is at least back to their full complement of 11. Throw in U.S. Beasley on the ball. Sanchez blocked. That was Torres making the block instead. El Salvador, they tried that long ball for Carlos Ayala. Pressure builds in San Salvador. In front of this hostile crowd. The U.S. has come back to make it a 2-1 game. Can they get an equalizer? Long ball towards Altidore. El Salvador will pick it up. Out it goes, throwing U.S.
It may not be pretty at times for the U.S. just dumping that ball in, looking for second pieces and scraps, and El Salvador actually struggling to handle it.
Bradley all the way across. Hedjuk under pressure, left foots it inside the box. That's headed away. Hedjuk jumps in, couldn't get to it. Much more effort, much more desperation. The flag goes up. Much more of that from the United States, but they have.
Yeah, and I love it because Frankie Hedjuk's imposing his game. He's just being aggressive. He's challenging things. He's getting forward. He's using his pace and his energy and his willingness. He's been in this position before. Very experienced player. And again, they're trying to waste time, El Salvador, by just really dropping players to the ground. Quintanilla now.
He's going to be coming out. And Dennis Alas will come in. Can't wait for the signal, though, for stoppage time with all that's going on here.
I mean, can a referee add 7 or 8 minutes?
I've seen it, yeah. More than that. Depends. A yellow card was just given, I believe, to Quintanilla, who was on the stretcher there, but not positive. We'll wait and see if we can get that officially. I think so. It was Quintanilla. So the new man, Alas, 36th cap for him, plays for Luis Angel Firpo, had a short stint with Real Maryland in the USL back in 08 last season. Short stint. Michael Bradley looking for it to Beasley. Bocanegra for Danny Caleb. El Salvador back on it. Martinez under pressure. Torres. Wow. More players going down this half. Torres and Martinez, the two number 6s, collided. The referee's coming over. Not sure he's buying it. This is what you get a lot of, though, in World Cup qualifying.
See as Torres there, he just comes in, maybe stepped on a foot. It's all part of World Cup qualifying, though. The Oscars and the Emmy Awards start coming out for El Salvador in the second half. They try to delay the game as much as possible.
Current standings in CONCACAF. What a logjam at the top. USA, Mexico, Costa Rica all with 3. Mexico had a win today that they needed. Costa Rica, that's their first loss in qualifying. They were the only unbeaten team in CONCACAF, had just 1 draw. The rest were wins going back to the previous rounds. Trinidad and Honduras drew today.
U.S., we're really looking from the U.S. for a player to stand out. Somebody to make a difference, sacrifice or dig in or whatever it means to be a leader on the field. You need that from one of the players. I thought Landon was very involved in the first half. Second half, not so much right now. Maybe the formations changed a little bit. He hasn't seen much of the ball to his feet. But still capable of getting on the end of things.
Michael Bradley's pass across. Favorable deflection to Torres. Torres stops. Donovan.
Great ball.
Caleb. Into the box it goes. Keeper's out. Gomez punched it straight out. That's the first big test he's had to make in goal since coming in from Montes. Ayala knocking away. Romero by himself for the moment. Got it back off the deflection. The chip. Ayala. He'll pick it up. The flag stays down. Ayala's cross. 2 players down in the box. And you know the home fans thought that was going to be a penalty.
The misunderstanding between Torres and Beasley. I'm thinking Beasley should be overlapping and pushing up high and wide as much as possible, not sitting in deep like that. It's too safe. Doesn't need to be there. He needs to be up the field as high as he can to stretch him out, take the game to the El Salvadorians.
Down that left flank, Torres. Here is Beasley. Dempsey. Danny Califf pumps another one into the box. And that's going to be too far after all that possession. Are you saying with Beasley's position that he's back there because of the score and the time that's remaining too, that he's playing it too safe?
There's no to be worried and concerned about the score. You either lose or you don't, and that's it. I mean, he should be pushed forward, JP, all the way high up the pitch, very wide, high and wide as much as he can, and asking for the ball from Torres, from Bradley in the midfield, and at least try to give these guys, when he opens that up, then a defender has to come with him. Now there's more space for Ching, Altidore, Landon Donovan to run onto things, Dempsey. You see Frankie Hedjuk doing it very well on the right side, but not on the left here.
Martinez, he went down, no call. Beasley played it wide, good ball. He found Dempsey. Dempsey cuts inside, and then maybe one cut too many. Comes all the way back, Bocanegra. Beasley. Califf, the noise level, you can believe it, has even picked up from before. Into the box towards Altidore. Out for a corner. USA with another good chance here. Their third corner. Towards the near post, straight up. Is tied it. Looks like Hedjuk's goal. 2-2 off the corner kick. Frankie Hedjuk has certainly had an impact in this game. The last two goals, he's come up big.
Well, he's fantastic, really. I mean, that's the type of gritty performance that you need from every player on the USA. He's putting himself in there. Look at him shoving Altidore out of the way. As a right back to get forward, that's a great position for Frankie Hedjuk on the weak side. You see the challenge in the near post. All the players committed there. And Frankie Hedjuk, we saw him in the Cup final for the MLS in Columbus Crew. He got the third goal in the header just because of his determination. And he did it again tonight to bring it even. And now El Salvador, in their last game, well, they came back from 2-0 down to tie it up. They're on the other end of it because the U.S. have come back. They've got to be strong and disciplined because there's going to be plenty of extra time in this game.
And now a free kick from a dangerous spot with El Salvador getting ready to take it. What an important wall this is.
It's important for them to be very calm here in the U.S.
Romero, the wall did its job. It'll be a corner kick, though, given up as Romero tried to lift that one over the wall towards Guzan.
It's amazing what a goal can do. Look at the crowd now. They're just all quiet. You know, 2-0, they were yelling and screaming, and now Frankie Hedjuk's changed things.
Romero will take this corner. Guzan is very vocal right now, the most vocal he's been probably in this game. Played inside, Guzan punched it straight up. El Salvador will get it back. Salazar. Gonzalez. Gave that one away. It was Altidore deep for Donovan. A step behind the defense. Donovan holds it. Help is coming. Dempsey. Now to Bradley. Hedjuk is wide.
It's an excellent ball by Torres. That's the vision you need. Find players wide.
Looked like for a moment Donovan was going to have a step or two on the defense and break in on goal.
More of a challenge there from DeMarcus Beasley. Went in really half-hearted on that ball. Needs to get stuck in a little bit more.
This one all the way back into USA's, and Beasley with it to Guzan. What a comeback for the U.S. 7 minutes of stoppage time. The U.S. was down 2-0. All the momentum was in El Salvador's favor. The U.S. got one goal back, and then a second one. Hedjuk was involved in both. The cross from Torres. And now settled by Dempsey. Back for Beasley. Into the box towards Altidore. That's cut off. All of a sudden, though, the U.S. looks much fresher than El Salvador.
It's good to see Torres really taking up that space wide and getting in behind.
That one deflected away from him. He'll let it go. He knows that's a corner. Torres will take the corner. Gomez came out, got a piece, he's down, got back up, and now it's deflected wide. Well, they have one goalkeeper hurt, and he's taking a couple of knocks too, Gomez.
Very good service. The outswinger from Torres commits the goalkeeper. Some theatrics in the box there. Dempsey trying to get on the end of it.
Wednesday night, USA hosting Trinidad and Tobago. That's in Nashville, Tennessee. And it's on ESPN2 Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern Time. Trinidad tied with Honduras today, a 1-1 draw. Mexico had a 2-0 win at home against Costa Rica. The other result in CONCACAF. Donovan squared it, but Torres. Torres with it, moving it ahead. That's Dempsey. Altidore trying to play it wide. It's cut off by Pacheco. Pushed upfield. Martinez fights to try to get it back. He cannot. Pushed up towards Ching. Gonzalez just barely got to that ball. Was able to find Pacheco on the left. Ching having some words with Enriquez. Ball is out. Downfield. The U.S. has it with Bocanegra. The captain is not under any pressure at all here. All the way up the field, and then just missed Beasley with that.
It's unacceptable. At this stage of the game, you should know better. Continue carrying the ball, or at least stick your passes into Beasley's feet. There's no need for that.
Throw in here for El Salvador. 7 minutes of stoppage time was put on.
I think Michael Bradley must be bleeding. They're telling him to change jerseys.
Well, Maurice Hedjuk is up. Interesting. If Bradley is cut, obviously the bleeding has to stop before he could come back in. And they may have made a quick determination, but that couldn't happen.
It's coming from his nose there. You see Ivan Pereira trying to sort that out. The trainer for the U.S.
They have to make a decision quick. Donovan towards Hedjuk. Maurice Hedjuk is up by the fourth official. Hedjuk in the corner. Trying to get a corner kick, could not. At this point of the game, and the way this game has gone, and even now at 2, if this was different, you might wait to see if you could stop the bleeding, but that would be a tough call to make here. So Maurice Hedjuk comes in for Michael Bradley. Last game he's played was March the 4th. Quick one inside the box. El Salvador will play it away. This was their score in their last game against Trinidad. They could be looking at just 2 points from their first 2 home games if this result stands. Throw in El Salvador.
Under pressure there, and Carlos Bocanegra waiting for that ball. It's a little bit behind him, played from Greg Guzan, but should do a little bit better to adjust his body, at least know what's around him there.
We should still have a couple of minutes left in stoppage time. And more may be added on. We'll see. Bocanegra to Marcus Beasley. Maurice Hedjuk. Wide for Frankie Hedjuk. Up the field, the U.S. with Donovan. In for Altidore. Can he turn? He lays it off. A chance, a shot. Stopped there by Gomez. He robs Brian Ching. That was an outstanding save, maybe the best save of this game. Beasley in traffic, cut it across, forcing El Salvador to clear it up.
This type of play right here is what the U.S. should have done in the first 20, 30 minutes of the game. The energy, you know, the penetration runs from Landon Donovan like that, running at people, getting Beasley high and wide. But it's a fair result. If it ends like this, it's a good result for the U.S., considering the way El Salvador played tonight.
Into the box, Gomez came out, didn't get it all. There's one going toward goal. It was that close. It's a corner kick for the United States.
You gotta be kidding me. This ball gets sunk in here. It's a half a chance. The keeper misjudges it. And there's Brian Ching with the bicycle kick and cleared off, really not off the line, but from an open net.
Now players are pushing at one another. Have to maintain control. Altidore has to be careful. He came in as one of those players in yellow card jeopardy. He'd have to sit out a game if he picks one up here. The next game. Is that going to do it? That is it. 2-2 is the final score in this one. Jozy Altidore, despite being 19 years of age, helped bring the USA back with 1 goal. Frankie Hedjuk a goal and an assist. Your thoughts on the result?
Well, I think, you know, with the substitutions, they made a difference for the U.S. coming in here in the second half. Trying to deal with a player like Castillo on that left-hand side, very dangerous player for El Salvador. El Salvador finds himself with the energy in the stadium, the enthusiasm of the crowd, up 2-0. And it's a great comeback from the U.S. to get to this point and say we walked away for a point on the road.